Welcome to Megapath Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today, let's talk The Walking Dead Q&A number 84. Now, if you want to participate in the Q&As, the directions are down in the description. It's very, 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 very important to read those, especially if you're new. They really help. It's the best way for me to find the questions. You'll understand if you go and read them. Let's jump right into this. My Carl Grimes heart. How do you think Negan and Carl's relationship will play out in the TV show? Brief, that's how. Scott Gimple already warned us. I do believe there's a way to give some of the storyline, and I hate saying it like that, but I do believe there's a way to remix it with some comic and new elements. And you got to do it like the comic where they saturated it in just one issue. It was saturated, and then they sprinkled it throughout and kept it relevant. I believe that's the key. Saturation in one episode, sprinkle it throughout, you're good to go. Honeybees. Do you think the videos that Deanna recorded of everyone will be found by the saviors and somehow used against the survivors? No. I don't know how it would be used against them. Maybe I'm not seeing what you mean. I just don't think there's a way to use it against them. I do believe there's a way to make a little funny comedic scene where Rick is on a supply run. He comes back and he catches Negan watching them. Maybe he makes fun of Rick's beard. I think that'd be nice. The unknown awesomeness. Hey, Ronnie, what do you think will happen with Spencer in Season 7? I think it will be like the comic, remixed slightly, but that is just gold. You can't not have that in it. And I think they already subtly set it up for Spencer. Mr. the Fac-Il Gaming. I said that way wrong. I already know it. Do you think that Daryl will die in all-out war? As of right now, yes, I do. Amir Rashid. Hey, Ronnie, do you think Rick will lose his hand in Season 7? No, he doesn't need to at all. The Golden Banana. Ronnie, do you think Michonne will cheat on Rick and get with Ezekiel? Hells no. There's no reason they need to do that whatsoever. The unadulterated cowboy beard. Do you think Season 7 will pick up with Negan's point of view bashing the head? No, I think that's too jarring for the first thing in a negative way. Too jarring in a negative way to see that right off the bat. Angus McBride. What do you think of the theory that Rick is immune to the Walker infection, and that's why he survived the hospital so long? You know what? There's a webisode that explains how he technically survived. It's how they covered their ass. Because that is a realistic plot hole in the story. But they explain it in a clever way. I give them credit for that. No, that's not how the infection works. Rick was in a coma and he was injured. You only turn into a walker when you die. So no, I'm not seeing what you're thinking there. Steven Rivera. Do you think the actor I messed that up. Do you think the actor Chandler Riggs, Carl, has potential to perform his comic book character in the upcoming events with Negan? You know what? This is difficult. I see potential, but then I see weak moments. And I think it's always good advice for him if he's going to, not even if he's going to continue. You know, maybe his parents, put him in this position. I don't know. Maybe he really wanted to be an actor. It doesn't matter. He's there now. I think it's his responsibility. I don't care what anyone says. You're there, motherfucker. You're rich. You're there. It made you rich. I think it's his responsibility no matter what. He owes it maybe to the fans, to his wealth, to study and get as good as he can, as good as physically possible, because I strongly believe there is that moment where actors go from acting like they're curious, acting like they're sad, acting like they're mad, acting like they're confused, and there's a moment where they go beyond that and they become mad in the moment. They become sad, they become curious, they are that. And it's hard to explain, but I think he should brush up at all times. But the potential is there. Whether or not he's going to take it serious and really dive in deep, that's up to him. I hope he does. I'm pulling for him. Vincent Valletta. Okay, you are going off on a rant about people just need to love the cliffhanger. You say that, man, it's a long rant. Listen, I'll just put it this way. Basically, what you're saying is that because they give us so much awesome stuff, we should love the stuff we might not like just automatically. I will agree with you that we should not say the finale is shit just because of the cliffhanger, but I understand people who say that because that was the last taste they had of that episode and that season, so I understand, and I definitely feel for their frustrations, absolutely. Like I said before, a lot of it is egotistical with fans, and I do it too. I'm not calling anyone out on it. I do it too. We want to be able to brag about our show. And when we realize, there might not be anything there to brag about, yeah, that's a hurt piece. You know what I mean? So I feel the fans, I feel their frustration. But in the same strength, you also say, every episode is awesome, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3. What if I told you right now to believe those 2 or 3 episodes are the best thing they have ever created on The Walking Dead? It sounds a little ridiculous, right? That's like you taste food and you don't like it. Ugh, what's that taste? That's like someone standing right there and being like, love it, love it. That's not how it works. I definitely feel your positivity. I hear you, but I don't agree on it. I do not agree that because I like 90% of The Walking Dead, I do not agree that I should, fake myself into liking the other 10%. If I see something and I like it, I'll tell you. If I see something and I don't like it, I'll fucking tell you too. It's as simple as that. But I do appreciate that. I'm being a little harsh maybe, but I'm playful. But I still really appreciate all the participation, the questions. I love it. Thank you very much. Jackie Ashes, I hope I said that right. Ronnie, if Daryl is taking Carl's story, what the hell is the kid going to do? Doesn't that stunt his growth as a character a bit? No, because there's always more story. If Daryl is taking it, there's always more story. There's always a way to mix and move and shuck and jive. Is that a thing? I don't know. There's always a way to do it, Eric Spar, I hope that's your name. Do you think Carl will stow away with Negan? You know what? I think he will, but I think it's going to be very different. I think it's going to be a totally different set of circumstances. Negan Lucille, how long do you think Negan will live? Longer? Yeah, longer than the governor is what you're asking. Yes, even in the comic, the governor's alive for a little bit, Negan's alive for a whole freaking compendium. All right, Jacob, go forth. When does the extended version come out? Go watch my video and you'll fucking know. August 23rd. Kimberly Smith. After all the aftermath of the Negan kill, do you think Daryl will go after Carol or stay with Rick and gang to fight off Negan? I don't think Daryl needs to go. I don't think he needs to be up her butt like that, I think as long as he knows Carol is all right at a community, healing up or whatever, yeah, he'll leave her there. He's fine. He might rush to check on her if he finds out Carol was injured a lot. She lost a lot of blood or whatever. She's weak. I think he'll go and check up on her. He loves Carol, but I don't think he'll be up her butt like that, But he'll definitely make sure she's okay. If it's questionable, if it's like, oh my God, she's healing and it's not looking good, he'll go to her. But if she's fine, he's good. Madman, what do you think the very first scene of the premiere should be? Oh, that's freaking rough. I love the idea of Negan in the RV, but it's very problematic because are we really going to do the entire speech over again? And I think that's one of the most problematic parts, is because I don't want it to be like the time they did a little preview of the Saviors, and here that was actually a bonus scene, and when we saw the real scene, it was just chopped up. Like, don't do that. Just take the little preview out, put it at the end of the episode, and then when we watch the full episode, let it be full, man. I didn't like that at all, not one bit. Anyway, Chief Broken Arrow. Yeah, it's me. I say subscribe now at the end of every video in that little end card. That's what you're asking. Claudia Saka. Do you think Rick will have a problem being in charge now? No, I don't think it's going to be like Season 3 and Season 4. Season 4, whatever. No, right now Rick is focused on getting out from under Negan's rule. He's not worrying about his leadership. Listen, he's going to second guess himself on the problems he has made, but it's not going to be like before. He is going to want to get out of, and he's also going to put on a front if they keep it similar to the comic. Depending on how they showcase that on the show, he might even fool us as well, so keep an eye out for that. Or they might try to have him trick us as well as the others. Robman7. What if after Negan Lucille's one of the characters, he turns to Rick and basically has Rick kill one of the survivors? That's what you're saying here. Yeah, they could do something sadistic like that. I feel like that's definitely a neat thing to put into some show for a villain. I don't think it fits with Negan. He made his point clear. You know what I mean? 2 things he made clear. 1, he doesn't want to kill them. He needs them alive to work for him. The more people he got, the better. And that's the truth. Number 2, He made it very clear if anyone moves, he's going to cut out Carl's eye and feed it to his father. If anyone moves, anyone, and that includes Abraham, and Negan doesn't do what he threatened, he's a bitch. It's empty threats. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I am so against anybody acting out. Shane Sad. Do you think we will see a conflicted Morgan in Season 7? I don't think he's going to be conflicted in that way. I do believe there's still some growth there, but Morgan had to kill him. I believe he was pissed. You made me kill you, boom, boom. There might be something there, but I don't believe it's, I don't think it's as thick as that, The guy gave him no choice, and I think he knows it. Antonia Wolf. I, for myself, would enjoy some different Negan storyline than the books. J.D. Morgan can show us the more deeper layers of his character than they are drawn on paper. Sorry. And I think for this reason they introduce us Negan's backstory and show more of his emotion. There's a time and place for that. In the comic right now, it's actually conveniently working out really nice. Because now in the comic, right when we're seeing Negan enter a new storyline and a new direction for his character, staying spoiler-free, we're also now getting a broader look at who he was before the apocalypse. And you know what? To be honest, a lot of times they feel out of place when you do this type of backstory, but this is actually flowing together very, very, very well. And this is something that I give Robert Kirkman a lot of credit for. He definitely takes advantage of stuff when the opportunity is there, and the way he utilizes that makes him look like a genius, and he's probably sitting back thinking, holy shit, this would flow perfect with this. Let me take advantage of how well this flows together. And because he has an eye for taking advantage of things that just happen to shape perfectly, I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. That sounds bad, but you get what I mean. Artie, who is your favorite character in the TV show? If it is Rick, pick someone else. It's Rick. Cameron Stewart. When Gimple said the Lucille victim is a beloved character to all, do you believe that means beloved to the fans or beloved to the cast and crew, or the characters, I should say? You know what? That's hard. Because the connection that Scott Gimple, the cast, the crew, the connection they have together is different than our connection as fans. It's very different. They're becoming friends, man. They see each other on a daily basis for months on end. They party together. They hang out together. They go to dinner together. They go to conventions together. I mean, they're growing very close together. So when they say certain things like this, when they talk about certain episodes and scenes, and this is one thing I feel like it's unfair how the fans react, and I'm there with you too. I'm just as guilty as you guys are, so please don't make it look like, or don't feel like I'm on a pedestal. I am just maybe more guilty than you guys are on everything, because I'm recording myself, on a soapbox. Listen, a lot of times when they go into these scenes and moments and story, whatever, they are putting it together, whether or not they are writing it, coming up with the ideas, or filming it, creating it. They're there for hours and hours and hours getting those scenes right. So once it's done and they can take pride in that and they are excited to give it to the fans and show it to us, they are invested so much. We're literally hours and hours and hours on end, are invested into these scenes. So for them it is, it's wow. It's fucking amazing, outstanding, it's incredible, it's the best thing we've ever done so far, it is brutal. So we have to understand that they're coming from a very different place than fans are. So that is it's something to look at. It kind of makes you feel just, like a dick sometimes, when you're like, oh my god, he hyped that scene up so much, when in reality it was taking everything they had to get that scene right. It doesn't matter if it's the lighting or the weather or his attitude or being in a crummy mood and having to film this happy or ecstatic scene, or the other way around, being in a happy mood trying to film a sad scene. So when they say a beloved character, they're connected to it and looking at it in a different way, and it's not, I don't think they consciously know to make that separation. I wouldn't expect them to consciously, okay, how would the fans feel, whoop-de-whoop? Or, even though I completely want to get this message out there about how they, are connected to it. He could literally mean it's Glenn and everyone fucking loves him. I feel like that's pushing it though, because not everyone loves Glenn. A lot of people love him, sure, but not everyone. So it's difficult. There's no one character that's beloved by every single fan out there. It's impossible. So take it with a grain of salt. Mother Dick, do you want the kingdom fleshed out more than the show? No. I want it fleshed out as much as they need to. Secure Path, do you think they will have the kingdom turn Morgan and Carol into No, they're not going to. No, the kingdom's not going to give Carol and Morgan to Negan in the lineup. No. Let's Talk Dead. Do you think they will bulk Jeffrey Dean Morgan up and shave his beard throughout the season? No, I don't think they're gonna, but I tell you what, oh my god, what was that show? When I first watched that show about the hotel owner or whatever back in the 50s and 60s, and I went on social media and talked about it, I might even have talked about it in a video, and I goofed around about this guy being perfect for Negan, but I don't know if he's well known. I don't even know if he's a good actor. I was new to Jeffrey Dean Morgan back then, and I didn't even realize he was the guy who played the comedian. I'm not that deep into The Watchmen, but I knew the performance, and I seen a movie, some other movie that he was in, and I knew he was in a TV show, and I didn't make the connection that it was the same guy. And I remember picking him out on the show where he was in the hotel thing. I'll put a picture on screen. He's big, he's bulky, and that's the fucking Negan we deserve. So yes, I hope he puts on weight. I jokingly called him the crackhead Negan. And that's one of those jokes you make where it's like, I don't mean to offend, and you're not unhealthy looking, you know what I mean? Like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I wouldn't walk up to him and think, man, this man is unhealthy looking. He's too skinny. No, not at all. I'm making that joke because compared to how he looked, in the other show, it's a big difference. And I feel like, and I stand by this, how he physically looked, the size he was in the TV show where he ran the hotel, was 10 times better than the look we got in the end of season 6. And that's including the beard. Get rid of that fucking thing. And I'm so mad at that because the only reason they kept him with the beard, is because they had to because of a contract. That was it. Creatively, if it was up to them, creatively, they would have taken the beard off. And that's the only reason why I'm annoyed about the beard, is because they wouldn't have him creatively. They wouldn't be like, I want Negan to have a beard because of this, and this. Whatever. I'm moving on. Mike Wazalski, do you think they will do a 2-year time skip? You know what, Mike? He suck player man or something? Alright, yeah, a lot of you were asking if they're going to do a 2-year time skip. I don't think they need to because nothing significant happened. And also, it leaves mystery. I think it's genius to do a time skip. Again, I believe Robert Kirkman, in writing, takes advantages of situations that pop up, and it's like the perfect time to do a time skip. And I think that is a great decision, and the show should stick with it. Skip it. Tyler Farmer. Hold on, there's some misspelling here. Do you think they will add a new character that plays a big role like Daryl? No, they got enough characters. They got enough already, and they're introducing enough. I don't think they need to add new characters that are going to be new main characters like Daryl. Can you add new side characters in remixing characters or just new side characters to help flesh out other communities? Add them all day long, but I don't think we need new main characters like Daryl or Rick or anyone else. Jesse Fema. I'm not a comic reader, so I'm worried about the whole Maggie goes to the hilltop situation. What will this mean for the group? Will they still be a family? And listen, don't worry at all. Maggie and comic Rick, they have a beautiful relationship, and you have to understand now that the communities are growing, The Walking Dead is changing. We're not following a group anymore. We're following, different people in different communities. It's gonna open the world up to be similar to, and I hate to bring this up, Game of Thrones. Only in the way that I mean there's characters on different parts of the world in Game of Thrones. We're going to do that. We're going to bounce from different community to community now that the Walking Dead universe on the TV show is expanding. Jamie Yeo Quinn, do you really think that the ratings of the show would significantly go down if Daryl were to die? Hells to the motherfucking no. All you, we're going to riot if Daryl die. fanboys, listen, hey, I'm huge fans too. I'm teasing you when I say that, but everyone out there saying we're done with the show, we'll drop the show. No, you won't. You know why? Ride with Norman Reedus is only pulling in what? 500,000 viewers? If you guys all would throw such a huge fit, you'd be all watching his show. I think he's doing better at Ride than a lot of people would be in his situation. So I want to make it clear, I'm not making a jab at him. That's all the questions I got. Thank you to everyone for participating in the Q&A. Remember, I really want the Q&As to be a little more playful, a little more open, where we could just say whatever without being huge dicks. But obviously, I do want to joke around a little more. So if you're new here, don't be oversensitive. If you hear something, you might be thinking, oh, this dude's being a dick, Huge thank you to everyone who's participating, whether or not, because I get this sometimes where I'll disagree with someone and I'm a dick, but I'm just trying to get through it quick so I can get as many questions into the video as I can. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I don't want to be an asshole. Why would I want to be an asshole to people who are supporting me? You know what I'm saying? It's like the dumbest thing in the world. Well, then again, there are YouTubers out there who are giant assholes. I know a handful. Some actually give me pains in my brain. There's a few. It literally hurts when I just think about how... Never mind. That's a whole conversation for a different day. Put your thoughts and opinions in that comment box. Read the rules. And then go ahead and put your question for the next Q&A down there. I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.